discussed about two types of tags, inline tag, and next we started discussing about positional elements. So here we are using position property. The name of the property is position, and what are the values we can have? What are the values we can give for position property? What are the values?
Absolute, fixed, and relative.
Absolute, fixed, relative, and one more is static, which is by default. Okay, so in that we also we already discussed about relative and absolute. So in the relative, we can move the element from its normal flow. Okay, the difference between relative and absolute is, in the absolute, the space will not be left, okay, after you move the element, but whereas in a relative, you can see the space, okay, the particular space for the element will be left blank. Okay, along with position, we can use top, left, right, and bottom properties, okay, to move the object. So the next one is fixed position. Okay, so in the fixed position, the position value is fixed. Okay, you can use top and left value based on your requirement. And the difference is in the fixed element, okay, the element will be, you do not move the element when the user scroll up or down the page. Okay, when you move the scroll bar, you can see here the image, you can see there is a scroll bar, correct? See here, when you move the scroll bar, you are moving the scroll bar down here. Okay, but still that image is fixed. Okay, so if you have a lengthy paragraph, okay, and I want to make this image fixed, okay, when you are moving or scrolling, it is like your background fixed. We had background repeat X, repeat Y, fixed and all, right. Same way, okay, if I want an image to be fixed in a particular position or image, not only image, any element for time for that. Okay, so if we want the element to be fixed, you can use position fixed. Okay, so you are moving the scroll bar down here, you are moving it up. Still, this image is in a fixed position. So that is all about position element, okay, with absolute, relative, fixed, and static. The next one is Z index. Each position element has stacking order defined by the Z index property. So Z index property, it is used for defining the stack order. Okay, I'll explain this with example. So you can take this example. Assume that there are three paragraphs. Three paragraphs. Paragraph 1. And you can give the style. What type of style is this? What type of style is this? What are different types of styles we have based on the location? Hmm? What are the different types of styles? inline, inline. Then what are the other two? Nikhil. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Then tell me the answer. What are the different types of style?
Inline, uh, internal and external.
What type of style is this now I'm using?
This is internal. Sorry, this is inline.
Ah, okay. From here I'm giving, these are the properties I'm giving. Okay. You see here there are 3 paragraphs. Can adjust the top values. So there are 3 paragraphs. So which one is in the top? Which paragraph is in the top? So does it look like a stack? Whether these paragraphs are arranged in the form of stack? Hmm? Tripti, whether these paragraphs are arranged in the form of stack? So what we can do is you can give the z index value. Okay. You can give z index value. If we give now three, all the three are having z index is 0, correct? Now we can give different values for z index. So now by default the paragraph is at the top. Paragraph 3 is at the top. The green color one is in the top. First, if I want this paragraph 2 at the top, I have to increase the z index. Okay, compared to the other two, I have to give the highest z index. Okay, the one which is the highest z index will come at the top. Now, which one is at the top? Paragraph 2 is at the top. Now, similarly, if I want to make paragraph 1 at the top, the red color, then I have to increase its z index. The highest one is paragraph 1. Now, see the difference. Paragraph 1 is at the top. Okay, similarly, if I want again green, increase its z index. Okay, is it clear? Hmm? Which one will be at the top? The one which is having the highest z index. What you guys are doing? Are you listening to the class? So the one with the highest z index, okay, now here the paragraph is having highest z index will be at the top. Okay, see here we have given position is equal to absolute. Okay, so by default it is static. So the next one is, okay, these are the examples. You can see the Z index value. Okay, figure is having the highest Z index and compared to figure caption. Okay. Here you can see the difference. The next one is float. Okay. The next property in the CSS is float. So it is possible to display an element out of its position in the normal flow via the CSS float property. So we can make use of CSS float property, which can be used to move the element. Okay, we can float the element to the left or to the right. So whenever you are using float for a particular element, okay, by an image or anything, you have to specify the width. Okay. So you can see here. So this is an example. Okay, here. So this is a lengthy paragraph. Okay, lengthy paragraph. Here, what and all we are having? We are having a paragraph. You can see an image here. Okay, there is an image. Okay. So now I don't specify float and all. Okay. So there is an image. After that, again I have paragraph. Okay. After that, again I have one image here. Okay, this is one more image. Okay. So there are two images surrounded by paragraphs, right? So there are lengthy paragraphs. Again, in that there are two images. Now look at the output. So we have specified the width. Okay. So this is how the uh, uh, this is how the HTML document looks. Okay, you have paragraphs, and here one image is there. Again, there are paragraphs. Again, here we have displayed image. Okay. Now I want to display it. Okay, I want to make the image float left and right. I want to get it to the left and this image to the right. So for that we can use float left. I will increase the size of the image, width of the image. I'll give it as 500. Now look at the difference. I have made the change float left and float right, and I have changed the width to 500. Now you see this image, okay, which was initially to the center, now it is to the left, and this was image again. Even this was in the center. Now we are floating it to the right. Okay. So now this is one way of arranging the image neatly. The option CSS float. We can float the image to the left or to the right. And whenever you are using float, you have to make use of width. Okay, clearly you have to specify the width. So here neatly you can give the margin, padding and all if you require. Okay, so this is one example. So in the exam, they may ask you, okay, a question, something, okay. Clearly an XHTML document or HTML5 document that includes at least two images and enough text to precede the image and flow around them, one to the left, that is one image should be left and another image to the right. Okay, and there should be enough text to precede the image and continue after the last image. Okay, so this is, so you have to give few more paragraphs. You need not write the entire paragraph. You can use dot dot. Okay, whenever you are writing in the exam, you just write one word or two word and put the dot. Okay, and you have to write two images, one with the float left, another to the float right. Okay, this is how you have to write in the exam. Okay, and after the image also there should be some paragraph content. This also you have to remember. So before image there should be a paragraph. Okay, in between one image should come, then the paragraph should come again, the content should come. Okay, again image should come, and after that the paragraph should continue. Okay, so this is the answer, okay, for the question asked. One image will be to the left, another image to the right, and the paragraphs. Is it clear? These are some examples. Okay, you can see these are the example where you are using float right. Okay, so this image is float to the right, okay, right side. Then next one, floating multiple items side by side. If I want to use float, okay, where you have multiple items. So here you can, items means you can take table or any other content. I'm showing with the image. Okay. How we can use float where you have multiple images, and that is side by side. See here, you can see here how many paragraphs I have, how many images I have. I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 image I have. As you can see in this diagram, there is 6 image. Okay. For this,
ನಾನು ಆರಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೆ ಇದ್ದ ದಿವಸ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸತ್ತದು.
what happened, Pavitra Shri? So there is 6 images. Okay. In the 6th image, you can see we are using float left. So for these 6 images, we are using float left, and we are specifying the width. So let me I'll paste this image 6 times. So here we have 10 images. Okay, I have given on 6 times. Then here we can use either float left or float right. Okay, here when you are using float right, okay, as you adjust the window, okay, you can see how the image will get fit into the width, okay, the size of the window. Okay. So you can use a float left or float right. So this is float left. Okay. So this new image will be fitted to the size of the window. This is float left and right, how you can use. Okay. So this is with the big window size. Okay. So if your the window size is big, for example, if you are displaying it using mobile, okay, then it will fit only 2 images. Suppose if you are using a laptop, okay, with the big screen, then you can see 3 images if you are using float. Okay. So like this, float can be used to fit the images to the window size. Okay, float left or float right. You can see here as the window size resizes, the content in the block containing block, that is the image that we have, will try to fill the space that is available to the right of the floated elements. Okay, as you resize, the image will try to fit into the available space. So the next property is a clear property. So in the clear property, you can stop the element from flowing around the floated element by using clear property. Okay. So this clear property takes 4 values. You can get these things in exam for 2 marks, and I'll explain float property with example. Second one, clear property. Okay, like that you can get in exam. So these are the values you can have for clear property: left, right, bottom, and none. Okay. Look at the example. So this is an example. Okay. So here we are having a heading, and here we are having next. Below that we have an image, paragraph. Okay. And again, okay, altogether there are 3 paragraphs. So what we are doing is, here for the image we are using float left. Okay. So that is why the image is at the left side. We are using float left. Okay. And for the paragraph, that is for this particularly, for this paragraph, we are using class is equal to clear. So this is P dot clear. Okay. So this is the name of the class, and we are writing clear both. So clear both means, okay, if you are using clear both the left and right edge of the element cannot be adjacent to another element. Okay. So that means both at the left side and the right side, okay, will not be having any content. Okay. Both side will be clear. Okay. So similarly, you can use clear left, clear right, and on. You can see here, if you are using clear right, okay. So you can, like this, you can give different values, clear left, right, and so if you are giving left hand side of the edge of the element cannot be adjacent to the another element. Okay. So here you can see class is equal to first, and for the first we are giving clear left. Okay. So left side, when you are giving for the third image, left side clear. So you cannot see any element at the left side. Okay. Nothing will be displayed at the left side. So left side will be clear. Okay. Even though you have the space, okay, even though we have the space and we can fit this image here. Okay. So this image will not be shifted here. Okay. Because we are in clear left. So similarly for the paragraph we are giving clear left. Okay. So this paragraph, even though we have space here, okay, this side we have space, but still this paragraph will not be shifted here. Okay. So this is clear left. So here for the third image we have given clear left. See here, I'm resizing. Okay, I'm resizing the screen. by default, if the previous case, what happens if you don't give clear left here? This image will get fitted here, right? Because we have space here, so this image will move to the top, and similarly another image will get and it will fit here. But suppose if we give, okay, for the third image, if we give clear left, you can see here for the third image we have given clear left. So left side of this third image is clear. That means nothing appears to the left side of this image. Okay, we don't have any element in the left side of this image. So even though if I space this image to the left here, then this left side another image will come. So that is why, okay, you don't want, okay, anything to come to the left of this particular image, then we can give clear left. Okay. Similarly, you see what happens if you give for the other images. Clear left. See, we are using clear left to the second image. Okay, so second image left side is clear. Okay, it will not fit here. Okay, the left side should be empty. Okay, no, nothing should come to the left of that particular image. That is why clear left. Okay. The left hand edge of the element cannot be adjacent to the another element. No element can come adjacent to the left of this image. So that is clear left. Okay. Similarly, clear right also same thing. So in clear right, right hand edge of the element cannot be adjacent to another element. So there is two more properties, that is overflow. Okay. Another one is visibility. Okay. Another one is display none. Okay. Display none. So this four I will explain. So the first one is overflow.
Ma'am,
Tell me.
we have code or coding test, ma'am, scheduled from 12.
Come at what time? 12 o'clock. Huh?
Yes, ma'am, 12 to 2:30.
Message has come. Huh?
Yeah, ma'am, we just received mail.
Mail. Huh? Okay. All have or only few?
Some of us.
Okay, those who have, they can leave. Okay, and drop me a mail. Okay, drop me a mail. Okay, telling that you had a whatever code test. Okay, list of students.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. The recorded videos will be uploaded. Okay, go through those that recorded video. So the next property is
Okay,
overflow. Overflow. So in overflow, it can take different values like scroll, hidden, auto, visible. Okay. So in scroll, in overflow property, it specify what should happen if the content overflow as elements box. Okay. See here, we have different box, different paragraphs with different backgrounds. Okay. So this is overflow. Scroll. Okay. So you can see what will happen when you scroll. So content when you scroll, along with that the content will also scroll. Okay. Next one, overflow hidden. So in the overflow hidden, you don't get any scroll bar. Okay. So content will be hidden. Only a particular, okay, the text which will fit to this window will be displayed. The remaining text will be hidden. Next one is overflow auto. Okay, that is by default. Next one is overflow visible. You can see here this is visible. Even though you give width only this much, okay, the remaining text which cannot fit to this size, okay, we have given the height as 110 pixel, okay, that is this much. Okay, the remaining text cannot fit to this, but still they come out, okay, they come out of the height, okay, and they will be displayed here. Okay, that is about overflow visible. So these are the 4 properties. So overflow property specifies whether to clip the content or add scroll bar whenever an element's content is too big to fit to this specified area. Okay, so it will tell whether to add a scroll bar, okay, or whether to clip the content, okay, or whether to remove the content, don't show the content, okay, or whether to overflow the content, okay, which doesn't fit into this width, okay, width and height, okay, that is we can do using overflow property. So this is an example, okay, overflow, hidden, visible, auto, and scroll. So the next property is visibility property. Okay, in CSS we have 2 properties. Okay, in CSS we have 2 properties which can be used to hide the image. Okay. To hide the image, there are 2 properties. In the exam, they may ask what are the 2 properties that can be used in CSS to hide the elements. So there are 2 properties. One is visibility, another one is display property. Okay. So go through this. Okay. So I'll give the example. You have to tell me the difference. Here I will add style and I'll write visibility is hidden. Visibility is hidden. Okay. Next, one more property is display. Okay, for the image, I am writing display none. So in the previous visibility hidden, when I write visibility hidden, you can see this image will not be displayed, correct? Same way, if I don't want to display the image, I can also use display none. What is the difference between visibility hidden and display none? So this is display none. Okay, this is visibility hidden. What is the difference? What is the difference? Amisha? Amisha P. Here the difference is, okay, when you give visibility hidden, okay, the image will not be displayed, but the space for that image remains. Okay, you can see the space for that image remains. Whereas if you give display none, the image will not be displayed. Along with that, the space for that particular element will also be removed. Okay, you can see the space for that particular element is removed. Okay, so that is the difference between visibility none and visibility hidden and display none. So the next one is constructing multi-column layouts. Multiple column layouts. What is multiple column layouts? We can see here how many columns we have in this. This is a simple example. Okay, here there are 2 columns, right? Basically there are two columns. One column is for selecting the menu, another one is for displaying the content. Here I have displayed an image and the paragraph. So this is a 2 column layout. Okay, similarly if you see here, this is a 3 column layout. Okay, so left side you have one menu. Okay, home, news and all. Middle you have content. Okay. And again in the right side we have another menu bar. Okay, so this is example for tree layout. Okay. Now the topic is how to construct the multiple column layouts. Okay, maybe 3 column, 2 column layouts or 4 column layouts. What are the different ways? Okay, so there are 2 ways. Okay, so first step is to float the container that will be no longer on the left hand side. Okay. The floated content needs to have a width specified. So first one is you can go for using float. Okay. So what we can use? We can use float and we can specify float left, and even for this we can specify float left. You see here. Okay, so these are the examples, okay, where we have used float. So this is an example. What we have done is, this is for 2 layout. Okay. So here I have a menu bar. Okay, I have a heading here. After that I have a menu bar with a div. Okay. This is a div with a menu bar. For that I have given float left. Okay. Similarly, I have an image here. I have this is one more div. Okay, this is one more div till here. So there is a 2 div. Okay, one div. This is for menu bar. This is one more div. This is for the content. Okay, till here. Okay. So what we have done is we have used ID main. Okay. So we have used here float left. Okay. So float left is used for arranging the elements to get 2 layouts. Okay. Similarly, this is example for 3 layout using float. Okay. So this is a 3 layout. You can see the output. Okay. This is output with 3 layout. Okay. So 3 layout, what we have done is, there are 3 div. Okay. 1, 2, and this is the last div. Okay. So what we have done is we have used, for this we have used, this is ID left. Okay, we have used float left. Okay, this is ID right. We have used float right. Okay, and this is the middle one. So for ID main, so we have left as it is. So we have done what? Left main menu we have floated to the left side. Right menu we have given float right. Okay. So for this we have used float left. For this we have used float right. Okay. So this is how we can use float for arranging the elements, okay, to get multiple columns. Okay. So I'll upload this, okay, in Teams. If you are interested, execute this. Okay. Float left and float right to get the 3 layouts. Okay. So you can see in the websites and all, we'll be having main menu, left side some menu bars, in middle we will be having the content, and right side we will be having some news and blogs will be displayed. So this is one way of arranging using float. Okay. You can see here, this is an example. Okay. So normally in the normal flow, if you are giving header, a navigation bar and a div, this is a normal flow. Okay. Suppose if you give float left for this, okay, you have to give the width also. Float left. Okay, this will be at the left side, and this below whatever div is there, it will be coming at the top. Okay, immediately right space, whatever will be there, right space will be occupied by this div. Okay, so this div will occupy the space which will be left at the right side. Okay, so this navigation bar will be moved to the rightmost corner. Okay. So this is one more image with the float left. We have given for this navigation bar float left. Okay, so this is a normal flow. Okay, this is a normal flow. For image or for navigation bar, if you specify float left, okay, then this will go to the left side and this image will come at the top. Okay, so try to execute. Okay, try to execute this. Similarly, this is one more example. So for this, we are giving left margin. You can clearly give the margin between two. Okay, for between the menu and the content, you can see a margin space. Okay, so margin space you can give neatly to arrange the elements. So this is three column layout. So three column layout means, see, three column layout means first you have to give three div. Okay, three elements are there. The first one it is left. Okay, next you have to give right, and the remaining whatever is there, it will be arranged, okay, neatly and will come in the middle. Okay. So this is float left and right. So one more way of arranging the element is using position element. Okay. That is, you can use position property. Yeah, this okay. Two layout using float margin 10 pixel. You can see there are two columns. First column you have an image. Okay. Next column it is full of paragraph. Suppose it will come. Okay. If you want the content to come at the right side, then you have to use this float left. Okay. So this will be floated to the left side, and the remaining space, whatever we have, it will be occupied by the remaining content which is at the bottom. Okay. That is two column layout. Next one is position property. We can also make use of position properties. You can see here, this is a position property layout. So this is three column arrangement. Okay, first, second, and third column arrangement. Okay, what we have used here is position property. You can see here there are three div. This is the div one. This is first div, middle div, and this is the right div. Okay, and we have used here position property, position absolute. Okay, and we have given how much left space. Okay, the left space for this is 500. This for high 900. This is using position absolute. Okay, so here left side it is 0. For this middle one, left side it is 100, I guess, and for the right side it is left side space. Okay, this much space is how much, so that you have to specify. Clearly you have to specify. You can see whenever you make any change to the size of the screen, the right side whatever column is there, it will not be visible. That is a drawback. Okay, when the screen is small, okay, you cannot see the third column. Okay. Similarly, if you see here, when you make a change, okay, what happens? Middle column, okay, it will scroll down, it will be displayed here because we don't have enough space. So this is a drawback of using position or float property. Okay, float or position property. Whenever you make any change to the, whenever you are resizing the window, the content will not be displayed clearly. Okay. So this is about position property. So they may ask you in the exam, explain how you can go for constructing multiple column layouts using float property and position property. Okay. You can give the example which is there in the textbook or the example which I showed. Okay. Or you can create your own example. So any doubt in this? So go through the recorded video. Okay. Notes is uploaded. Go through that. If you have any doubt, please ask. Okay, one more thing. Next class you will be having. The next class we have say Friday. Okay. Friday we'll be having a test on module 1. Okay.